Yeah, I think there's personal things you remember about people, and then there's professional things. I think his career has been well documented, and we've all seen him play at the highest level, and he has had an incredible career. And as you move throughout a career, you learn things, you pick up things, and you gain experiences in locker rooms, but also on the field. And his time here, he was able to share that with a lot of the younger players, with a lot of our players in general, with us coaches too. And we thank him for that. We thank him for all of his knowledge and his experience that he has openly shared with LAFC, and of course his effort on the field, and the couple goals.
He has perhaps not done as much in terms of goals and things like that as was perhaps expected when he came in. The impression is that he didn't fully fit with the way that the team plays, that perhaps in a different system he would accomplish more. Your thoughts on those two things?
I don't know. It's all speculation. I think we just need to stick to what was and what is, and facts are we put lineups out there when we think that is the best lineup for this possible game. Olivier started the last 2 games, and so we'll be missing our starting 9.
And without him, how does that affect the way that you go forward, just in terms of depth and so forth?
Yeah, it's one less player. Instead of carrying obviously 6 attackers, it's 5. But we have players on the roster who can play up top as well. And so we have plenty of depth. And the obvious players who fill that role are Jeremy and Nathan.
Coach, tonight the defensive effort was there. I mean, you guys pretty much kept Vancouver out of wherever they wanted to try to go all night, but offensively things just seemed a little sluggish. Was that a product of this Club World Cup run and these last few games, or was it something else on the field that just wasn't happening tonight?
Yeah, with the exception of one play, I think the guys defended okay. There wasn't much going on. Offensively, it looked just impatient. It looked rushed and impatient and a little un-LAFC like as far as positional integrity goes. And that was the words I shared with the boys a few minutes ago. I think we have a way of attacking here. We have a way of doing things, and yes, we also have individuals, and we count on their creativity at certain times. But it can't lose the balance, and you can't become too individual. And I think our attack looked very individual tonight instead of as a group. I think we were lacking 1 or 2 more passes in the final third to finish some of those attacks and movements. And we'll work on that. We'll show the players that there were some golden opportunities out there that we missed due to poor decision making. Very similar to what we saw at the Club World Cup and prior to that.
Steve, 7 out of 8 games now you guys have conceded first. We've talked about slow starts throughout the season. Any sense of why you're giving up early goals? And then obviously that's putting you behind the 8 ball. It's very difficult to get results once you do that. How do you get yourselves out of that?
I don't think they were all early goals. When you mean early, if you mean first half, then okay, that's early. But early for me is within the first couple of minutes. And that wasn't the case tonight. Look, there are games. We had a game against Austin at home. Austin had 1 shot on goal. Tonight, Vancouver 1 shot on goal. Not all shots on goal end up in the goal in this sport. There are those evenings. So, and you can always concede, whether it be a set piece or you fall asleep defensively, collectively, like we did. That happens in games. Sometimes you're punished and sometimes you're not. What we've been good at is being able to punish teams on the other end. And that wasn't the case tonight, and I think that's why we lost.
And just in terms of coming out of the Club World Cup and all the energy you put into it, John mentioned sort of coming back to training this week almost felt like a preseason. Do you feel like you guys have to gear up again, sort of find your rhythm again? Did this feel like a break that you're going to have to account for as the months move forward?
I don't share that opinion by any means. I know exactly where we were last week. We were in Macon, Georgia, Atlanta, Nashville, Orlando, 5 hotels in 12 days, 3 away games in not easy conditions weather-wise. And we came back. Of course, we were fatigued. But it doesn't feel like preseason. It feels like June, late June, early July. And so we knew it was going to be a tough task tonight, but I don't think fatigue played a role tonight. Our opponent played this week as well on Wednesday. So I just think it's maybe just a little lack of quality we're missing tonight and cohesiveness offensively.
Hey, Steve, just your thoughts in general about Javairo's performance on his first official MLS match as a member of LAFC?
Yeah, I think there were some moments where you see the player we saw as an opponent not too long ago here at our stadium. He has great flashes. I think he's still learning our system. And so there's still work we need to do in the video room with him and on the training pitch to unlock his full potential. So I think we're getting there, but we're not quite there yet. And I still think he can do much more for us. And I'm confident he will.
Last question. Hi, Steve.
Hi.
How do you evaluate a match where it was just one moment in 90 minutes where you outpossessed them, you guys shot them, you held them to no shots in the second half? Just how do you evaluate a match where, statistically, you guys were the better team?
Yeah, a couple of ways. I think you can look at the match itself and analyze that. You can look at the momentum phase you're in as a team. So you can talk about the emotional side of things. You can talk about tactically. That's easy. You can talk about the physical aspects. And so there are many ways to break it down. For tonight, I think it's more of we talked more about the mental side of things, and for me, lack of discipline, meaning not that anybody's late or doesn't follow rules, it's positional integrity, and that also has to do with tactical discipline over 90 minutes. And I think if we were able to do that, I think we'd have more looks at goal, and then we certainly don't lose this game. And so that is what I take from this short term. But if you look at it through the entire season, this is just another speed bump. And a missed opportunity at home, but that's going to happen, and something we accept, we don't like, but we have to accept and move on.